Hi, welcome back. We're continuing our work with wireframes in Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop CC. So now we're going to be adding in text and images. So on the left hand side is the tools panel again, and this time we're going to be using the text tool. So this is the T here. And as with all the tools, there's multiple tools in there. So just make sure it's the horizontal type text tool because and I can right click on that to bring that up because text can either go normally horizontal or vertical or all kinds of things. So we'll stick with horizontal type tool, which is our basic. And so say we wanted to kind of indicate our pixel sizes of our boxes on our wireframes. I'll highlight the text tool and click where I want to put it in. And so I know that my width is 1024 by, and I don't remember how wide my header box is in pixels. So I'm going to check. So I'm just going to enter, and so you see my layer comes up here. So that's where my text is right there. If I want to go check the pixel height of my header box, because I don't remember what I did, I'm going to go to my layer called header. So that's the importance of knowing what that layer is, and highlight that layer. And then if I go to the rectangle tool, this will bring up the properties box on the top, and I can see here my header has been 1027 by 192 pixels. I said okay, so that's 1027 by 192. So I'm going to go back to my text box here. So I go to the layer where the text box is here, and if I double click on that layer, it activates my text here. So I'm going to go back in here and change that to 1027. Oh gosh, I don't remember what it was, by like say 981 px. Okay, so that's what I wrote. Let me go check back my header. 192. Okay, so let's, don't remember, I'll click on, double click on that, and here it's 192. 192. Okay, I find this text a little small, so let me just double click on that to get to the properties, and I see it says 12 point up here. So I'm in the text box layer. I've double clicked on this, which brings up the property. Oh, there's my text box, there's my property. That says 12 point. So let's make it maybe 16 point, so it gets bigger. So it's bigger there. Let's go to my move tool, like I said, and move this box further in because it was coming off my page. So this is moving that. So that's for my header. So if I want to kind of put these together, I mean, I know that's the text box. I can move the layer order. So I have my header, and then I have the text for my header. It's not a big deal, but it just helps you organize in your mind. In my navigation bar, I want to see what pixels I had size I had made that box. So I highlight this layer, navigation bar. Notice I've renamed it to navigation bar so I know what I'm talking about or looking at. I go back to my rectangle tool, click on that to highlight it, and I see that this box is 1027 by 81 pixels. I find that a little too wide, even though I had made it that way. I can readjust it afterwards because everything in Photoshop is readjustable. And I'll go up to my properties here and let me make it say 45 pixels. Okay, enter that. Oops. Oh, I didn't take care. 45, enter. Got to enter. And you notice that it got shorter here because I had entered 45 pixels instead of the 80 pixels. So I had changed it. So let me go to my text tool, add in there. So let's go back to my navigation bar. It was, remember, my 1027 by 45. Okay, 1027 by 45. Then I'll go to my text tool to type in here. So text. $10.27 by 45px. Okay, so that's 1027 by 45px is for my navigation bar, but I don't see it. And you know why? It's because if I double click on it, I see that it's here, but in my properties up there, it is 16 points font size, but it's white, and white on white doesn't show up because I put it on the white part. So let me just change that color to something like black down at the bottom here, and now you see that's where it is. If I go to my move tool and I move that into my navigation bar, that's what that is. So now that's all fixed up. Because when I put it on this white part of the screen, white on white won't show, but it is there because it's there. And if I double clicked on it, it highlights where that box is, the text box where that is. I go to my footer, because my footer, it says, if I go back to my rectangle tool, it's 1024 by 97. Maybe I want to change that to 57 pixels. So I just type 57, and then that's gotten smaller. But as you see, it's highlighted, it's not right at the bottom. So in order to move the box, I need to use my move tool. Click on the move tool, make sure I'm on the footer, which I was, and just move that box down below there. So that's done. Now I want to add text in there. Click the text box, click on there, and type in copyright 2018, and also the pixel size. So that's copyright 218 there. It's centered. I don't want it centered, so that's my text line that I'm going to change the properties on. If I go up here in my properties, I see that it is centered here. So let's just put it to left justified there. Again, what was my pixel size for the box? Because I have to identify all the pixel sizes of the boxes. Let me go back to the footer layer here, highlight that. Go to my rectangle tool, and it tells me it's 1024 by 57. Okay, back to text tool, 1024 by 57. Click on here. Let me just put it, I'll move it, I'll put it 1024 by 57 pixels. Okay, so that's that layer of text. I want to move that into, put the move tool on here, and then take that box and move it here to describe it. So there. The copyright, it might be a little too high. I'll move that a little lower. Click on the move tool and move it in. Okay. So there you go. Now we've got the text in. I want to put in some images. I have my image boxes set up, so now I have to import some images. I'll do that by going to image, file, yes, file, place embedded, and I've gotten a folder on my desktop with various images, so I'm going to select a particular image and place it there. So there's the image comes in. It's called blog, my image, and I don't want it in the middle there. I want to move it. I go to the move tool. I will place it. I'm going to move tool, click on the image, and move it to where I want it to be, and it's right there. There you go. Make sure it fits. Okay, so that's my, I'm going to rename that blog image. So that's what that is. Oh no, my blog image is bigger than my box. Okay, so this is a bit more advanced. You could either resize your images and crop them to what you want, or in this case, I'm just going to use this other tool called the marquee tool, and let me just hide the image, and using the marquee tool I want to trace out the size of that box. So that's highlighted as the size I want. Go on to my layer of my blog image tool, make sure it's activated and visible, and I'm going to use this tool down here called the masking tool. You'll see what's happening. So I click on that, So what happens is it hides everything around except just the image. The image will come through for this particular layer. So what happens is you'll see that it fits in the box that I want. If I had resized my images to what I wanted before, I wouldn't have to do this step. It's just a little bit more advanced. So I've got a couple more boxes. Let's go and File, Place Embedded Another Image. Let's pick that one. We'll place that in. And again, we'll need to move it into place. Place it. And Move tool is activated. I'm going to move it into place. I didn't resize my boxes. So I could either change the size of my boxes or I can do this masking thing. So I'm on that layer. And again, I'm going to take the marquee tool, the square, which is different than the rectangle tool. It just kind of outlines what you want activated as far as to show through when I do my mask. Make sure I'm on this layer, make sure it's visible, get back to my mask, and there it is. So this is how I do that. Let me put in one more image just for the fun of it. Place embedded. I'm going to do my logo, which I did kind of crop to what I wanted, and I'm going to place that. Move tool and move it to where I want it. I want it up here. So I've already cropped my image into a circle previously and saved it, so I don't have to crop it when I bring it in here or do the masking. I could do the masking thing with that circle as well. If I go to my marquee tool, right click, I have different like the circle marquee or the square marquee, but because I'd already done it before, I don't have to. So there you have adding text and importing images.